Good afternoon, everyone. Farmer's Wife here. And on this episode of The Farming Life, we're going to install the Haloview wireless camera onto the back of the L341 big baler with the monitor in the 7290R. So I'll show you how easy this is to install. I have a few clips here that I did almost a year ago, probably a little bit more than that, when we actually got the camera, on the different parts that are in the box that you get, and a little bit on the manual itself, just kind of detailing all that they send you. We are finally getting time to put this in. I just want to say thank you to Haloview for sending this to us, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and just the super easy way of installing this monitor and wireless camera system. It's a 2.4G digital camera system with a 7-inch LCD wireless monitor, and just gonna unpack some of this stuff here, and then we'll get ready to put it into the John Deere 7290R and the 341 big baler. So we have our camera magnet. Here's our antennas. We have the screen here. Everything's packaged nicely in foam to protect it. Has the protector on it there. Don't look at me in the background. My hair's not done. Here's our camera. So the camera has a nice shield on it there. Over there. Mount. Got some cables. Bolts. Screws. Comes with the Allen wrench in there. More. Take this out. The charger there. I'll show you how this all goes together here. Cables.
Turn it the right way, and you put it in the right way.
Okay, we have the sun shield for the camera. And then another Allen wrench. So, they are two different size Allen wrenches. Alright, so we'll get this, that's what comes in the pack there. Everything you need to put it in. So you also have the user manual for the M7108. It's a wireless camera system. And see, it tells you everything in here about how to put it together, how to use it. Very, very user-friendly. Gives you the wiring instructions and how to do that. Alright guys, so we are finally putting the backup camera on our baler. We have the gator here with all of our tools and stuff in the back. This is a wireless camera, but I think we're going to do some things a little differently here with putting it on. So we'll show you as we go. We have picked the spot out that we want to put it. Somewhere that we can see the bales and both sides of the behind the baler, and we're just getting ready to install the camera. This is a Haloview backup cam. They sent it to us right after we got this baler and tractor to install on this one. and we're finally getting around to install it. It's been a little bit, but we're finally getting around to installing this camera. It's one thing that we find really important here on our farm is to have backup cameras on the equipment. It makes it easier and safer to navigate around the farm. With 5 kids around, you try to keep an eye on them to the best of your ability. This just gives you that extra security, making sure there's nobody behind you before you start to back up. So we have the mount on. Now we're putting the camera in. I do have some short clips of everything that is included in the box that they sent us, and I will put those in here somewhere. I don't know if I'll put them in the beginning or the end or where I'll put them, but just tightening it in here, leave it at the angle we want. Alright, so now we have that hooked up, and we are going to hook it into the power wire.
And everything's waterproof. So now we're starting here. And then there's a plastic thing here. I think I'll stay there. Cutting it. Okay, now we're going to run our wire.
Alright. So now you would have 2 options here. You could hook this into the power on the baler. I think we're just going to run a wire and grab power from the tractor just to make sure we don't short anything out. So we're going to hook up our wire and run it up. The biggest thing for us is we didn't want any of the electronics to interfere with the backup cam and get a flashing in the back, because it's pulling power to somewhere else in the baler, which is why we're just going to do a direct feed from the tractor. So we had a brand new roll of wire. We're just going to follow it into the clamps and through the clamps on the baler and hook it in. Okay guys, so you can see we have the wire running down here. We're going to connect it. We have a power and a ground, so we'll have to ground it, but we'll connect the power wire to this, and it's just running right along this group of cables. We did zip tie it to it so it doesn't get tangled in anything. So you can see the blue zip ties, that's where we zip tied it. Again, this is an unnecessary step. It's just one that we decided that we wanted to take just so that we wouldn't have any interference because of the current pulling for the tractor. Alright, so we have it coming up through here. Eventually we'll put a connector in here, but we don't have one yet. And then it's going to come up and it's going to plug into the strip bar here. We're not going to plug it in right now, but we did do a heat seal on that. Why isn't it focusing? So we did do a heat seal on that, and then we can just plug it right in here to the strip bar. Like I said, we're not going to plug it in right now. We're going to wait until we get it hooked up in the back. So that's the next step. So now that we have that hooked up, there are 2 antennas. They are labeled camera and monitor, so you can easily differentiate between the 2. And we're going to hook the camera antenna up. So we're going to ground it back here. Have it
nice, like a
grounding
washer
to a bolt. We have a washer on one side, the bolt on the other,
and a
nut, and it's over a bolt.
I did use a heat shrink so the water stays out.
Just like up in the front, we use the heat shrink on both of these. You can see for the grounding, and to connect it to the power source from the tractor. We could have just hooked it into the power source back here again, but we decided not to. It was an extra step we took. It still is a wireless camera, which is why we're going to be attaching the antenna next to the camera. Just a note here, when you are attaching the antenna, you may have to move your camera so it's facing down and you can get to the antenna attachment before actually placing your camera the way that you want it.
Okay.
So there is the camera with the antenna. So now on to the monitor. We decided that we were going to use the monitor that would typically hold the corn planter, which is monitor, and relocate it to the upper post. It had been down on the lower post, but it hit our daughter's head every time she was in here, so we're just going to use it up higher for our monitor. Now, Haloview does send along their own brackets. We are going to be using part of that bracket to mount the monitor. The other part we're not, just because this is what's going to work for us. Alright, so we're assembling the bracket onto the actual monitor. They send you all the little knobs. You just have to put them together. They also send you a user manual and instruction guide on installing it. This is the Haloview MC7108. Alright, so in order to pair the monitor with the camera, you just have to hit the OK button for 3 seconds, and then it'll tell you what to do on here. We have to press the pair key on the camera side, and we'll see how that works. Just to show you where the pair button is on the camera, it's on the back below the antenna. So I am going to go ahead and get ready to pair, and now that we found it, after reading the directions, we'll go ahead and pair it. Now, if you don't have time to run back and forth, you can always power down the camera and power it back up again, but we will see. Alright, we have video. So another cool feature with this camera is that you actually do have audio. So if somebody's working back there, they can talk to you, and you can hear them from the cab of the tractor. So again, this is the Haloview MC7108. You can buy this on Amazon, or you can check out the website, haloview.com. I don't know if you'll be able to scan that QR or not, but put that in there as well. So give them check them out. They do a quality monitor and camera. We had their this is their wireless. We also had the wire one, the one that you have to connect, and that one did well as well. So good quality product here, and we're happy to have it on our tractor and baler.